now to this. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard released a report she says is one of the biggest political scandals in recent history. The Trump-Russia investigation. She claims after Donald Trump won the 2016 presidential election, Obama-era officials undertook an administration-wide campaign to discredit him. The DNI director spoke on Sunday Morning Futures.
We had a sitting president of the United States and his cabinet and leadership team, quite frankly, who were not happy with the fact that President Trump had won the election. And so they decided that they would do everything possible to try to undermine his ability to do what voters tasked President Trump to do.
All right, joining us now, Fox News contributor Mark Thiessen. Good morning to you. Mark, what is new in all these documents, this blitz of documents released Friday?
Yeah, so this is really very important to get to the bottom of this, because this is one of the worst political scandals of our lifetime. We spent 2 years and tens of millions of dollars investigating what turned out to be a conspiracy theory, which is that Donald Trump colluded with Russia to steal the 2016 election. And it turned out it wasn't true. And there were a lot of Democrats were pushing this, a lot of people in the media were pushing it. But what was most insidious were the people in the intelligence community who would basically were telling the American people a pernicious lie, which is you can't see it, but we've seen secret intelligence that suggests that the president was conspiring with Russia to steal the election. And it wasn't true. Brennan was one of the worst people involved in this. He called Trump a traitor, said he committed treason, that he was an agent of the Russian regime. And this is really bad because it calls into question the intelligence community's credibility. And so we got to get to the bottom of who did this, who was behind it, and find out why and call them out.
You know, Democrats in the intelligence community and who work on intel issues on Capitol Hill say there's nothing to see here. This is all just more on something we've already heard 100 times. Here's Jim Himes. Take a listen.
What you saw from the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, was not just a lie, but a very dangerous lie, because when you start throwing around language like sedition and treason, somebody's going to get hurt.
What's your response to that, Mark?
So, I'm sorry, John Brennan accused Donald Trump of treason. Adam Schiff accused Donald Trump of treason. Eric Swalwell said he was an agent of a foreign power. So for them to say that Tulsi Gabbard is politicizing intelligence, they weaponized intelligence against the President of the United States. And look, there's two different things that are going on here. There's the question of whether Russia tried to interfere in the 2016 election, which they did.
Right.
And I would remind everyone that Donald Trump launched a cyber attack against the troll farm in St. Petersburg responsible for that election interference. So Donald Trump actually was the one taking that more seriously than the Democrats. Barack Obama didn't do that. But there's the question of whether Donald Trump conspired with Russia in that interference to help it to steal the election, which has been proven to be an absolute lie. And the Democrats pushed that lie. All the Blumenthal, Warner, Schiff, Swalwell all went out and said there was evidence, secret evidence, that Donald Trump had conspired with Russia, and it wasn't true. And we need to find out what the source of those lies are. What were they seeing, if they did see anything in the intelligence community that turned out to be false, so we can restore the credibility of the intelligence community.
Well, look.
Did y'all see that post where he posted Barack Obama getting handcuffed and thrown to the ground by the FBI? Man, this is the president of the United States, ladies and gentlemen. He act like a middle school girl with this Twitter shit. It is so crazy. It's so much evidence out here that suggests that Trump and Epstein was like this on that shit. I just don't get it. I don't get how he still have supporters after all this Epstein shit with the beauty pageants and all that shit. And now here they is trying to throw this shit out. Come on, bruh. How dumb do y'all think people are? For real, for real. Y'all know this shit ain't finna. Y'all trying to arrest Obama, bruh. A man that ain't had not one scandal his whole 8 years. Not one. God damn, these people suck. Bruh, these motherfuckers straight suck.
Some Democrats have pointed out that the origin, as you mentioned there, was really this intelligence that appeared to show at the time that the Russian president, at least, favored Donald Trump's election over that of Hillary Clinton, and that some political figures took that, perverted it, and made it a collusion.
Yeah, so CIA Director Ratcliffe actually just put out a report on this, and if you look at that report, the evidence for the interference, the idea that they were interfering in the election is clear, but whether they favored Trump, a lot of that was driven by the Steele dossier, and there was a huge fight within the intelligence community about whether to include the Steele dossier, which was paid for by the Clinton campaign, which was political opposition research that turned out to be untrue, to include that in the intelligence assessment of the intelligence agencies, and it was the FBI and Brennan who were pushing to include it, and the intelligence professionals were saying that it shouldn't be in there. So we need to get to the bottom of that as well.
All right, you can check out those documents. They are now publicly available online, anywhere you get your news, including foxnews.com. Thanks so much. Appreciate it, Mark.
So more on this.
These motherfuckers are insane, man. But we finna check out. Let's see what's next.
As promised is Maria Farmer, who says Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell sexually assaulted her. So she says she saw Trump at Epstein's office late at night in 1995. At the time, she was 25 years old. Epstein had just hired Farmer, who was an artist, to help him acquire art. Now, Farmer urged the FBI to look at Trump's connections to Epstein twice, in 1996 and again in 2006. Which, of course, means Trump's name could very well be in those government files that the administration is refusing to release. Maria Farmer is now suing the government to try to get the unredacted files about the allegations she brought forward about Epstein. Now, President Trump has not been the target of any investigation related to Epstein, nor has he been accused of any criminal wrongdoing in this case. Maria Farmer is out front now for her first television interview, sharing her story since filing her lawsuit, and she is joined by her attorney, Jennifer Freeman. So thanks very much to both of you. And Maria, I want to give everyone a chance to understand exactly what happened here. I mean, you said that Jeffrey Epstein calls you to come to his office, and you go, and then you're sitting there waiting, and Donald Trump walks in. What happened?
Yes. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you for having me on, Aaron. I really appreciate it, because I need to say up front that I've waited 3 decades to be able to even be heard about this, because the government has not held any of the people that reported accountable. And so basically the night before I went in, before I began working for Epstein, he called me at very late in the evening and asked me to come up to the Helmsley Palace offices. And I didn't even have money for a subway token. It's kind of embarrassing. So I had to go running up there. And so I told Epstein, I'll be up there, it'll probably take me until like 9. He's like, okay. So I get there, and I'm waiting, and it's dark. Like, there's no light on in the offices. And I thought that was really weird. So I'm seated against the wall in the main part of the offices and just waiting for Epstein. And he says, I'll be out in a minute, and he's got the door closed. And then a few minutes later, this man walks in a business suit, kind of tall, imposing. And I immediately was like, that's Donald Trump. What's he doing here? I'm supposed to be working for Epstein and interviewing with him. Why is Donald Trump here? And he walked up about a few feet from me and just stood over me in a very imposing way and looked at me like he was in on some secret or something. It was really weird, like smirking kind of. And I felt threatened, so I made an ugly face. And when I made that ugly face, Epstein walked out from the offices on this side. Trump's standing here, I'm here. And he walks out of his office and he goes, oh, no. He was laughing at me. And he goes, she's not here for you. Follow me, right? And he escorts him in to this other room. And I always wondered, who is she in there? Was someone in there, right? And I have no way of knowing, nothing. But I felt very intimidated because I had on running shorts and I was vulnerable, sweaty, just a nobody. in an office with these two men that it felt very predatory and uncomfortable. I have to say that when I made that ugly face, he backed off. It wasn't like he was aggressive after that, but he made a really vulgar comment following. And I don't know if it was like, like locker room talk in the 90s, the way men were, but he made a joke to Epstein, oh, I thought she was 16. And I thought that was so strange because at the time my sister was 15 actually. And I didn't think it was funny, even though it was just a little bit inappropriate, but I thought, I don't know what it was. But anyway, and then they entered that room.
So Epstein says she's not for you, and then when did Trump make the comment about your age? Again, you were 25 at the time, right? So I mean, you were a 25-year-old woman. Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
But
I was
was
a
it
woman,
after Epstein
right.
said that comment
But-
that he made the comment about age, or?
Yes. So he first said, no, she's not here for you, which immediately made me feel weird. Like, was there someone there, right, in that other room? And so that's another reason I was nervous. And so as soon as he said that, laughed, I made the face, all that stuff, they started to walk away into that other room where he's escorting him. He goes, come with me. And he takes Trump into this other room in the offices at 9 o'clock at night. And there's no one else in, that I know of in these offices, but was someone in that room. So I always wondered what that was about. And anyway, that comment was made under his breath as they were entering that room.
As they were
And I thought it was rude. I don't care what age I was. Like, it's rude to say.
Which, Jennifer, I guess brings me to where you are now. I know you're helping Maria now sue to get the unredacted government files related to her story. What do you expect these will show?
Well, we would really like to.
Yes.
Excuse me. We'd really like to understand what's in those files and because we really have never had access to them. We've been making FOIA requests, and we had to bring a lawsuit to get access to the files, as well as to hold the government accountable, which is what this suit is really about.
So, Maria, when you talk about the closeness of the relationship, when you were working for Epstein, you say that he was present very regularly. How close were they, as far as you were able to tell?
Well, like Epstein said, he inherited him in the divorce. He said, basically, you're going to see us together all the time. We're fixtures because in the divorce, I inherited Trump and Ghislaine inherited Ivana. So he said, you're not going to see him at the house the way you see Ivana, and you're not going to see her at the offices the way you see Trump. And, it was just, it was a known thing, like among the staff and everyone, that they were best friends. And Epstein bragged about it. And I gave up 30 years to report this. And it's a very serious thing to fight the government. It's been unbelievable. I've been fighting 2 cancers because of it.
Maria, when we reached out to the White House for a comment, they responded, and I'll just read for you what they said.
Okay.
Quote, the president was never in Epstein's office, and in fact, the president kicked him out of his club for being a creep. They then say that Trump, they're clear there. They say he was never in Epstein's office, which, of course, from the original incident that you're talking about is where this occurred, according to your recollection, at the Helmsley building in New York.
He was absolutely in the offices.
So what do you say when they give a response like this?
Yes. I say that they're being disrespectful to the fact that I have given up my entire life for this case just to have it investigated. And I'm really sorry for him that he's caught, but, I don't know what to say to that. He's lying. I don't appreciate it. He was absolutely at the offices, and it was 9 o'clock at night. I thought it was inappropriate. But also, they were best friends at the time. So what I say to that is, I don't think he's really responding to the fact, and what does he mean the offices? He needs to be specific, because he was in the Helmsley Palace offices. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate so much both of your time, and Maria, your choosing to speak out. I know that time may make some things easier and others perhaps even harder. So I'm very grateful that you're choosing to speak, and thank you.
I appreciate you.
My next guest.
This shit just a lot of shit just keep coming out every day by day about this shit. That boy Trump, man. And then he keep trying to distance himself from Epstein, calling him a creep and shit when y'all was best friends. Birds of a feather flock together, my friend. I don't know what to say, man. But like, comment, share. Let me know how your boy doing. I take any kind of criticism because I'm trying to rock this motherfucking channel. So any criticism, whether it's bad, good, in the middle, whatever, let me have it so I can get better. Start stacking this clock in the dough. You know? Alright, I'm out of here.